or we will be. So all the noise, so we don't have any sound. Don't worry, folks. We'll be on in a minute. Just got to get something done here.
All right, so four bands, 9 songs, one good cause, and I even do spoken word on the thing.
So head on over to OnePeoplesProject.com and get your copy of this important CD. Bottom line, we all in the fight now.
y'all. We're working. It's
Hey,
working now.
everybody.
How are you? How you doing, Beth?
I'm doing okay. The cadre of dogs are all inside because it's cold, so I'm trying to keep them quiet.
And it's cold here too. It's cold here in Jersey because we're probably gonna get a little bit of snow tomorrow, and let me turn down my. It sounds better. No, it's a little crazy right now because it's probably gonna be snowing. So there's a whole bunch of people running around trying to get the supplies for the um 2 inches that we're gonna be getting.
It's just bitter cold here. Been taking care of goats and chickens and dogs and cats and trying to get everybody ready for it.
The good old days. Well, those would be the good days for my mother, but for me, I wouldn't mind living like yeah, what am I saying? Anyway, um, I want to thank everybody for their patience of with us, and hopefully everybody's hearing us okay without any echoes or anything because we're working on well hopefully we're not working having any problems. Um, the only thing is our person that's monitoring everything. Beth, check your
I'm
um
watching. They just joined. No
yeah.
messages yet.
Oh no. I'm gonna say something's up with your headphones. You got them?
Yeah, yeah, I can add them.
Yeah. Put them on. That'll kill everything. Because when we get that echo and the squelching, that's where the fun begins. Yeah.
All right, does that help?
Let me find out. How's it sound? I'm talking to our monitor person, and they say all good. So did I just see Kyle? I hope I didn't just. Great. Now someone's gonna make a still out of that. Anyway, anyway, we're sorry for last week. That's the one thing that I definitely have to say because we was going through all kinds of stuff because we didn't have these things. But there was a lot that we wanted to talk about, and instead we're moving on just to be timely and all of that. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that we wanted to talk about last week. We'll get to it at some point. One of the things that we're going to be talking about, not today, um, but because I guess Beth, you're not going to be here next week, right?
That's right. All the holiday stuff is starting up, and I've got to do a holiday family thing next Friday.
No worries, no worries. Um, what I was reason why I was asking because I want to try to I want to talk about Amrin since everybody since somebody beyond us decided to start talking about us and start talking about it. And for those who don't know what Amrin is, it's the American Renaissance Conference, and that's the white supremacist conference that myself and going after down in Tennessee, along with some other people that we work with. And finally, finally, they started to notice with first with the local news with this cat named Phil Williams. In the words of John Oliver, that's a bad man. You do not want to fuck with Phil Williams. And apparently not, because now that he's covering the conference, now news News Week is writing about them. So this is we're gonna make sure that people start talking about this. I mean, when you start talking about white supremacist conferences that Matt Fuentes and Lauren Loomer as spoken at, and where they organize for a network to organize Charlottesville, yeah, we got to deal with this thing on, and we should have been dealing with it for um weeks, for years ago. I mean, and we'll talk about that when you come back. Um,
Sounds like a
now,
good New Year's episode.
yeah, it's gonna be a New Year's one, yeah, because this year's coming to an end.
Yeah. Phil has done good reporting. I will just say there's been so much of those, so many things happening in Tennessee. And, there's that white supremacy village they've built down there. And he's covered all of that
Oh yeah,
really
that's right.
just
They are.
straightforward. So he's really doing some good work getting this into the mainstream media.
Yeah, and one of the things that he is covering are those idiots that like to go online and harass kids. They're not. One of them is a dude named what's the name of his name? And Sal Menad. Oh, I can't remember his name, but I know he's Goyam Defense League. That dude, he's going after him in particular, but the SPOC is suing him, is zeroing in on him. Not only him, but another guy by the name of Paul Miller, who goes by the name of Gypsy Crusader, who does the same thing, and is only about a half a mile away from me. I
Neighbors.
I've been trying to make this dude's life hell. And I've been doing pretty good at it too, because he's always complaining about something that I've done without bringing up my name, which is cool. He probably doesn't even know who I am, which is fine. Which is fine. But but anyway, we're gonna talk about something a little bit more positive that has been going on over the past week, or rather weekend. Very seldom talk about the positive, but I attended I went to something called, where is my paper? This thing. Okay, right there. It was Newark, the Newark Zine Fest, and it was Saturday, and and basically it's in the name. It's a festival for zines, and it was a real good one that I hope we are going to be a part of next year. This is my first time checking it out, and I loved what I saw. I loved what I saw, and I have a little bit of a video to introduce you the of the event. And as soon as I set it up, cue it up, here we go. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm here at the Newark Zine Fest here at the Newark Library. It's always a place that you will find all kinds of culture in this. Today is not different than anything that this library does. I love this library. But today is a day where we are basically adding to that history. And we're going to check it out.
This is the first one I have been to. This one. I really like it. I think it's like really well organized. The setup is really cool. I like the space. It's cool to be in New Jersey.
I love it. I love a zine fair. I love Dents. They're an amazing collective. This is my third fair that I've done with them. I've done the Jersey Zine Fair twice, and now we're here in Newark.
I run an art brand, I guess you could say, called Alien Nature X. I do a lot of lino cut block printing, and I'm venturing more into clothing design and upcycling. These are earrings, yeah, lighter holders. I work a little bit with clay too. I figured I'd bring those because they're kind of fun. But yeah, mostly I do lino cut prints and, like I said, venturing into more textile work.
I'm Christina Long. I am the Global Creative Director of Black Girls World Press, in particular, Black Girls World Zine. My siblings and I are originally from the Midwest region, and we grew up going to a lot of alternative and rock shows and just really being in that scene. So as we got older and like migrated to all these other parts of the country, we continued to go to shows. And I would say this platform allows us to talk about what that experience is like for us, being black young people going to these different shows, comparing notes.
Now, I should say that Dance Magazine is what put that together. And they were a zine that started, I believe, in 2020, and they turned it into this. And next year they're going to start a community space for artists and for people who are just I'll just write it say it as this. Yeah, in Newark, New Jersey, which this event was held, they're going to be doing a community space, which just basically allows people to just go free with their art and what have you. And that, by the way, is something that One People's Project is getting ready to embark on. We're going to try to do that ourselves um, over the next year, but we'll keep you posted on that because um, we're gonna need money for that. And we're gonna need you to help with us. Right now, right now we have our fundraiser, our one our year-end fundraiser going on. So just go to onepeoplesproject.com/donate. You'll see the thing up on the front of the front page of One People's Project. You'll see everything that we're talking about, and we're also putting it around all over what you call it, social media and things like that too. So we're gonna have more info in a bit. Um, but we have a treat for you. But did you have anything to say, Beth, before I go on?
Just looked like a super cool zine fest. I love those things. There's always such cool people there. Wish I could have been there.
I wish everybody could have been there, to be honest. Um, See, that's one of the reasons why I wish I wasn't dealing with such a my um, craziness with health because there's so many of those things that I want to go to, and I had to cancel out on a few of them over the past year, and I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that next year going forward. I want to make sure that we are out there as One People's Project and as Ida Vox. Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the stroke that keeps me from talking the way I want to talk.
What
And
progress you've made in a year, though, Daryl.
thank you,
So
thank you.
much progress, and we're so glad that you're healing and still doing the work.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that you and others others in the board. I mean, I don't want to say names out of place, but that stepped up and started helping. Um, and I'm glad people came forward because I'm losing my crew, because last year one of the main people one the couple that there are two people that I have been working with over the past 20 years or so that we basically kicked a lot of ass out there. We were pretty much responsible for shutting down Ameren in DC. and and doing we have a lot of work out there that people are pissed at, pissed about, the Nazis at least. Um, um, One of them passed away of leukemia last year, and his wife, um, stage 4 lung cancer. So it's been a rough year. It's been a rough year for everybody. We're getting older, so these things are going to happen. Although he was 42, so and it came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere. So um, that's one of the reasons why I want to hype up people like um Lo, who is one of our people that we are working with the forward one people's, and she joined me to do this interview, and we'll talk more with Lo later on, sometime in the future, because I want to have her on the show as a guest host. And I want to and the reason why is because she has a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to talk out of turn again. So when we have her on the show, we're going to explain. But she helped me with this interview, because we will talk about Warzone Distro, Warzone Distro, who is based out of the Midwest, and basically they distro zines and pamphlets leading towards upheaval. And I met them at the Binghamton. Uh, like I said, I can't talk the way I want to, so I got to slow down here. Um, I met them at the Binghamton, New York Book Fair. Um, I thought what they were doing was phenomenal, phenomenal. They've been doing this since about 2013, I believe, and our boy came in, and his name is Flower Bomb, and I apologize if I'm using the wrong pronouns. I didn't ask if they what they prefer, so I'm just gonna go back to they until I'm told otherwise. So, but anyway, I'm gonna that interview was done a couple of days ago, and but we're gonna hit you with it like right now, and we're just gonna sit back for the next 20 minutes and enjoy it. All right.
I'm looking
So how am
forward
I
to
gonna
hearing it.
enjoy it? Like this.
All right, so I guess we all got to start from where we began first, I guess. And the first thing I was gonna start talking about how we met up over at the Binghamton book fair last year. I think it was. It was just last year, but I was going to go to this year. Um, and I was always interested in talking with you and about what it is y'all do, because the thing about the work you do and is the fact that you are making it easy for information to get out, and that's really important. It's really important when you're talking about hard copy information. That's missing.
Right.
That's missing to me.
Right.
I mean, it's always good to have information at your fingertips via the internet and all, but sometimes you just need to have something in your hand
Right.
that you can pass off to somebody, or just have on the ready whenever you just need to just look at it, or something that you don't have to look for somewhere that's somewhere in the www or whatever.
Right.
So
right.
So that's why I think it's important to keep things that are just like tangible. And I wanted to ask you your basically philosophy in that regard. Was that what you were thinking, or was that just where you were anyway?
Yeah. So what I was thinking about is the fact that because of the internet, people can like connect with people, long distances and shit, which is cool. They can like broaden their networks. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people have lost that kind of intimate connection that at one point had, where like we would have conversations and dialogue directly face to face. A lot of people will have these complex conversations. Politics and shit are wrapped up with emotions. So if you don't have the full spectrum of how somebody is emotionally reacting or responding to something you're saying, there's a lot that can be lost in that conversation. So with zines, these are like material things that people can take. They have the information immediately accessible, and then you can have conversations with the people that are distributing these, pieces of written material. And that's one of the reasons why I love tabling, is because it allows people an opportunity to ask me what my thoughts are on the shit that we're distributing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the conversations that arise from having the material right there and then being able to talk about this in a horizontal manner, I feel like those kind of connections can really like build people up and kind of help people remember that at the end of the day, politics is a way of relating to the world, and oftentimes politics are defined and determined by the powers that be, but we can create our own meaning and we can define our own relationships with the type of ideas and shit that the world tries to force down our throats. And then that also gives us the capacity to reject some of those ideas and actually stand up for ourselves. And I think that's where, like, in terms of empowering people really comes in, because essentially that empowers somebody to realize that they do have the power and the ability to determine their own lives and define their own lives. And the easiest way to do that is by making these stories and these ideas as accessible as possible, and then being able to communicate with other people about those ideas in a horizontal manner that's not top down like you see in like colleges, or what I'm saying, like politicians and shit like to talk down or whatever. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to share perspectives and stories and relate to another, maybe argue with each other, a good healthy debate, really powerful, and it can motivate us to keep moving, but yeah, that's kind of the way that I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. I love it. I mean, Lo has
Yes, I want to know. I think it's really great what you're doing, because I think about like in history, kind of how newspapers and printed newspapers worked. Essentially, like you talked about it, it became a community piece. It wasn't just, oh, I'm reading it, just getting information myself. It became like a discourse, like that was in person. Like the person would be like, oh, we know that dude reads newspapers. So like now it's probably like, we know that dude reads zines. And like, what did you see recently? Um, Also, I want to know, like, why did you decide to call it Warzone Distro? Like, is there like a meaning behind that?
Yeah. So I wanted to call it Warzone Distro because I think that the entire capitalist industrial, settler colony that we are currently imprisoned by is an active war zone. No matter how much it tries to normalize itself and create its own ideas of good and evil and, its own meaning, essentially, I feel like this is an active war zone, and I feel like being upfront and honest about that is super important. And I felt like that name was very compatible with the idea of making the type of information accessible that I have. And the information that I'm trying to make accessible is information that criticizes this very war zone. You know what I'm saying? So Warzone Distro represents a perspective acknowledging the world around us and distributes literature that criticizes many, many different aspects of this world around us. And at the very least, allows people to kind of look at things critically, and allows people the possibility to see that maybe the things that are happening in their lives isn't a direct result of every single thing they've done or failed to do, but perhaps maybe there's a current that tries to force us into a direction that maybe we're just not compatible with, but we would never give ourselves the credit in being able to like, you know, see that or understand that, because there's so much social pressure to assimilate into, you know, society's ideas of, like I said before, what's good and what's bad, you know?
Well, you've been doing this for about 12 years. I mean, Warzone, that is. And I'm quite sure you had some other people that you was putting this together with. How did this come about? How did where were you coming out of? What brought you to Warzone?
So I was active in a lot of different scenes, whether it was animal liberation, earth liberation, just general like anti-oppression type of stuff out in Chicago. And once I got a taste of all the cool things we were doing out there with this, you know, with these different forms of activism, I wanted to bring that into the area that I grew up in, because I grew up in an impoverished area where accessibility to this type of material or these ideas was just absent. It just wasn't there. And, you know, everybody talks about like, oh, Chicago or, you know, Miami, you know, all these different cities around the country. And I was thinking like, well, what about like the burbs? What about all these little burbs that got hoods, that got people who are still struggling and all this shit, but they don't live in the city, so they don't have, you know, readily accessibility to this information or to these ideas. I wanted to bring something there, but I didn't want to just limit it to there. I wanted to bring something everywhere, and it kind of grew from there. So I decided, you know, like the stuff that I'm learning about, I'm going to try to find bits and pieces of this either online or like, you know, maybe at tables of events that I've gone to, and bring it back to where I came from. And before I even did Warzone Distro, I was already doing really, really free markets. I was doing food not bombs. And there were a couple people that helped me with it, but a lot of people only helped for a little bit and then they got busy with work or whatever. And I just didn't want to stop because, you know, I got a little bit, you know, I got like a taste of being able to like see how just like talking with like homeless folks or like talking with people that society marginalizes can help boost their spirits, make them feel good, and, you know, get them through the day. And I wanted to do more and more of that. So I started providing reading material at like really, really free markets and the food not bombs that I was in. And then people started reading that material and they started talking about like, hey, you know, this is really good stuff. And then they would walk away talking amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? They would be having these conversations. And then I would see them like maybe a couple weeks later or something, and they'd be like, oh yeah, we were talking about this and that. It's like, so that's all it really is just, you know, making accessible these pieces of reading material, stories and shit like that. Started from there, you know, just a desire to like see people expand their perception of the world around them and seeing how that can empower them and wanting to do more of that.
I think one thing that's really great about you is that I think about the, you know, the DIY scene, but I also think about the whole idea of doing it together. And like you aren't focused on like yourself. You are focused on like the community. Like, oh, like there's even like the distribution thing. It's like, it's so cool because it's not like, oh, I have a zine and it's mine and I'm doing it. And this is what I'm promoting my zine. You're like, okay, I'm doing really free market. I'm doing like going out in the community. Like, you know, what do you think brought that about? I mean, it like, you know, that's a kind of a slight difference because I think a lot of times people like a lot of people are kind of like, oh, I want to do my thing and not, you know, what made you think about other people?
You know, because I started writing, but I started doing that in about like 2017, 2018. But so I do a little bit of my thing, but what I like the most is when I see how people become empowered and then they empower other people and then they inspire other people. I like showing people that they're powerful. That's like the biggest thing for me is helping people realize just how powerful they are, because everything within industrial civilization is constantly telling us how like powerless the individual is. And I don't believe in that. I believe the individual is way more powerful because on an individual level, it is the individual that contributes in some way to building this whole empire or maintaining it. So I'm thinking like, okay, if you can't rely on the whole masses, you know what I mean, all at once or whatever, what about the individual? What about empowering the individual to realize that they could like reclaim their life and determine their life, you know, on their own terms and without having to worry about politicians to like feed them or guide them or whatever, right? But then that individual inspires other individuals who are seeing that and like, that person can do it. Maybe I could do it. Let me see what I got. And I like inspiring people to realize not only the power that they have, but the poetry they have within themselves. I mean, we're not all just a monolith. We're not all just a mass. Like, we're individual, unique beings, and each person has something about them that makes them uniquely powerful. And when people get together and they share these things together, shit, I mean, we technically built this whole society. Imagine what we could build if we really realized how powerful we were and we weren't governed or guided by people who constantly told us that we need them. Like, you need a accessibility to that reading material, you know?
I mean, you froze a little bit there, but a lot of what you said, what you was trying to put out there is came through.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah. And I will tell you, that's always been, you know, why we all do our thing. I mean, including myself. I mean,
yeah, look at you. Look at everything you've been doing, you know?
I mean, when you think about it, Joe, man, it's like basically, and I've always said this about being in the punk scene in the first place. Mm-hmm. It's like, or the alternative team. It's like I've always said, we are just people that ask the question, what will happen if we did this? And we just hit a button and come what may, you know? And I think we just ask people to press that button. And basically they already have that button in their hand.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's just like encouraging folks. And I think that's a lot of times you would see a lot of the folks that we encounter on the other side, or if you want to call them the other side, whatever, who are frightened of that.
Right.
Of us pressing that button, of us saying, we don't need you.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the things that I think people, what kind of thing have you seen from the quote unquote opposition that says, oh, you can't do that. You can't. I mean, how many times have you been told that?
Right.
In your life? I mean, even especially now. Now. So, and one of the things I gotta throw out there is more than just with for Warzone. It's not just zines and stuff that you just distribute on your website and what have you. You also have a YouTube page where you basically put it out there for everybody to see as well, visually and everything. Do you want to talk about what's on here and what kind of things have you have put out on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I realized that a lot of people might not have the attention span to get through zines and stuff. So I'm a visual learner. So I was like, you know what? Let's show people in real life what these ideas could look like. This is what anarchy could look like, individual lives, right? People are always talking passion state. It's about redefining and rebuilding relationships with each other in a non-authoritarian, non-hierarchical way. So a lot of the videos that we've posted have to do with, you know, sharing food with the homeless folks that we love out here. These folks out here are amazing. And I've been homeless out here for about like 7 years. So they all know me and I know them, but they all have something about themselves that I'm just like, I want the world to see, y'all.
If people want to contact you or, be part of the Warzone distribution, how would they reach out to you? How do they reach out to you? How do they, be part of this project and support you? Like, even also financially, how do they support you?
So we make ourselves pretty accessible. I'm usually the one answering the email. I'm usually the one running the Instagram, but you can find us on Instagram, or you could just email us warzone_distro@riseup.net. and yeah, I'm pretty much available anytime because sometimes people will write something and they'll want us to distribute it. So we've done that many times too because I like storytelling. You know what I mean? I like sharing stories, and I feel like that's a very powerful way of exchanging ideas and stuff. So a lot of people also notice that our zines are less academic. I try to write in a way that's as accessible as possible. But we do have some academic texts on there. Just, yeah, people can reach out with whatever anytime.
I want to thank you for being a part of all of this, about giving us the time to talk with you, and hopefully people will start reaching out and just letting you know that we want more of this, because I can tell you at this event, this zine fest that I had went to last weekend, it's starving for people. I mean, they had a lot of people there, and you got to come to this next year. I'll give you
I
a
would
head up.
be down. I would be down. We didn't get an invitation or anything, but I mean, always down to table events. We love table and events.
I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted because I'm gonna I'll give you the information about it, and we'll make sure that your information is on the post for this as well. So yeah, we really do appreciate you coming out today. Thank you.
Oh man, I had a great time with that, and I
I
want to
was
thank
just
Lo
checking
for
out the web.
participating in that. She helped a lot with all of that. What you got to say about it?
I was just checking out their website. Amazing stuff on there. Very exciting.
Yeah, and that's the website underneath us,
Yeah,
and
just a lot of um, different takes on, like he was saying, anarchy, and I was just reading some of the eco-feminist and vegan uh, publications on there. Just really cool stuff. They're doing some
yeah,
amazing work.
yeah, and been doing this since 2015, 13,
2013.
13, 13. That's it, 15. But but yeah, we're gonna hopefully we'll have them on the show again, and they have an interview with me somewhere about. I don't know where it is. I had to see it on the website, but they might have but I really had to get them on the show so everybody what's out there. You don't have to wait for people to do shit. You can do it. That's why they exist. That's why we exist. I mean, why wait to fight for fight fascism when you can do it yourself? Oh boy. So we're gonna have to wind up, and I just want to thank everybody again for um, basically putting up with our nonsense.
It was better tonight than we've had so far, though. We're getting
Yeah, it
better every
was.
time.
We got people helping us.
That's right.
Now we need you to help. Here at Substack, and I'm gonna let Beth explain that one.
Yeah, one way you can support One People's Project is to become a paid subscriber. Um, Love to have you in that way, but also we are anti-capitalist and we welcome everybody. We don't have anything behind a paywall, and there's going to be more to see in 2026. So subscribe if you can. Be a paid subscriber and help support the work One People's Project and Out of Box is doing.
There is one thing that is in the behind the power paywall. Um, we're trying to show everybody what our what's it documentary about called we don't walk in fear, and that's another person being sick. My mother is in that documentary, and she's come on, she's 82, so
It's a fantastic
so she's going through
documentary.
her stuff right now. But we're watching her. We're watching her. So um, but anyway, it's a good documentary. It was done by Villanova students. just a couple of years ago. So if you want to watch it, just subscribe to the to this channel. And for those who there's some folks out there watching this on YouTube, we're gonna have something for y'all soon too. So just maybe what we'll do is put the documentary up there on the behind the paywall or some shit. I don't know. I don't even know if we can do that on YouTube, but I'll check. What? Hey, we need money. We want to start a community center, and we will next year. I really have a goal for that. All right, y'all. So glad we finally was able to iron out some of the kinks. And we'll see you next week. Well, Beth, you're not going to be here.
I won't. So happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, let me
I'll be
check
back
because
in a
well,
couple
I'll
weeks.
be here next week, and even though we've been bouncing about, we took the last 3 weeks of November off, but that's because a whole lot of stuff that was going on. Oh yeah, I lost an uncle besides
Me too.
over those 3 weeks. My uncle Erel, who actually was the reason why I moved to Cleveland. I started working with him, and he's one of he was loved. He was loved, and we're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him. I don't like to say too much about my family because I don't want you motherfuckers looking for him who are on the Nazi side because I don't want you to get your asses kicked that hard. You know how they? Yeah, I'm the nice one. All right, but anyway, y'all, we'll see you next week, and yeah, yeah, this was a good show. This was a very good show. I was happy. All right, here's a trailer about that documentary. Many of you have seen it before, but you're gonna see it again. Take care, y'all. Peace.
Why do you think that you have the right to silence me?
I always said that I don't want to be heard, I want to be felt. I don't want to make my mark, I want to make my dent.
I didn't realize at the time that I was actually one of the biggest activists and largest organizers of white nationalism and alt-right in the United States.
They are what is considered by most people sort of your button-up white supremacists, your suit-and-tie Nazis.
Arguably, what they spew, while it's hateful and deplorable, is political speech, and so therefore it's protected under the Constitution.
Cops! Why are you letting the fascists down here? You've got us blocked off, but you're letting the fascists come and harass us? We're out of here now, damn it, and we're coming over the fucking barrier!
I can't walk in fear, and we don't walk in fear, you know, and I thank God for that.
Honestly, I wanted to make sure that when I left this earth, there would be something left behind that was worth a damn.